After Sushma Swaraj named and shamed Pakistan at the global level, the rogue state plotted to malign India. But in the process, Pakistan's representative to the United Nations, Maliha Lodhi, scored a major self-goal by branding a Gaza victim as a Kashmiri. She went on to brandish the photograph clicked in Gaza in 2014 by award-winning photographer Hedy Levine and claimed that it was a Kashmiri. The Pak envoy didn't even stop there. Later, she patted herself on the back in a shameless interview to a Pakistani news channel.
पाकिस्तान वालों, आपने क्या बनाया? आपने लश्कर-ए-तैयबा बनाया, आपने जैश-ए-मोहम्मद बनाया, आपने हक्कानी नेटवर्क बनाया, आपने हिजबुल मुजाहिदीन बनाया, आपने आतंकवादी ठिकाने बनाए, आपने
stung by Sushma Swaraj's unsparing attack. A desperate Pakistan rushed to retaliate and in the process embarrassed itself further. Seeking to corner India over Kashmir, Pakistan's top diplomat in the UN made a massive goof-up, using a photo of a victim of the bloodshed in Gaza and calling her Kashmiri.
The Indian Foreign Minister spoke about human rights. So let me ask, who is using pellet guns that are blinding unarmed protesters, including children, infants in occupied Kashmir? Who is violating the fundamental rights, not only of the brave people of Kashmir, but hundreds of millions of Indians? And who is using rape as an instrument of terror, as an instrument of state policy to crush a popular and indigenous movement in the occupied state of Jammu and Kashmir?
इंडिया जो अपने आप को क्लेम करता है कि वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट डेमोक्रेसी है, वो तो दुनिया की लार्जेस्ट हिपोक्रेसी है। और फिर मैंने वो तस्वीर उठा के दिखाई जो कि एक खातून की शक्ल थी जिस पे कि पेलेट गन की इंजरीज थी, जो कि ऑक्यूपाइड कश्मीर में हिंदुस्तान की रिप्रेसिव टैक्टिक्स से उसको जो इंजर किया गया। और ये तस्वीर दिखाते हुए मैंने ये कहा यूनाइटेड नेशंस की जनरल असेंबली में कि ये है फेस ऑफ इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी।
Even the foreign minister of Pakistan lauded her faux pas.
I can only be amused at the inability of the Pakistani side to even put up the case properly. जब सच्चाई को छुपाने का कोई प्रयास करता है और जो सत्य से हटकर कोई बात करता है तो उसमें कहीं ना कहीं पर पांव बड़ी आसानी से फिसलता है.
The reply and representation of Pakistan's representative is as usual false and ridiculous, exactly in tune with the image of Pakistan. Multinational companies from all over the world and from US goes to India in search of talent hunt, and the US Army goes in Pakistan for terrorist hunt.
It's yet another embarrassment for a nation which is a compulsive liar. The question is, will Islamabad now apologize for maligning India and misleading the world? Bureau Report, Times Now.
You're watching the News Hour Special Edition, Debate Number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And for more on the story, I'm joined by our guests live. We have with us, in fact, Tariq Fatah joining us live via Skype. Maruf Raza, consulting editor of Times Now, is also with us. We do have Major General G.D. Bakshi, and joining us from Islamabad, our Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi, former diplomat, as well as Taimur Shamil, who is a political analyst, joining us live at this point of time from Pakistan's capital. I'll begin with you, Mr. Shamil. The question is this: what's going on? How can you use lies like this at an international platform? It must be embarrassing, isn't it? I can understand your desperation, but I mean, going to the extent of using lies, fake photographs, where will Pakistan stop?
समझ आ रही है? यार ये समझ नहीं.
Well, I can't hear you properly. I can get you.
I think there's an audio problem there. As far as the link is concerned, we will try. Yes, can you hear me?
Well,
can you hear me, Mr. Shamil?
But as far as we can see what is going on the screen, and as I can see the total lies that you are telling to your own people, would you deny the human rights violations in Kashmir? Would you deny the genocide?
Sir, let's stick to the subject. There was a wrong photo shown.
Guns were used.
There was a wrong photo shown, yes or no?
People are being killed.
Mr. Shamil, we know who's denying human rights over there. It's the terrorist groups who are spreading terror in the Kashmir Valley. Before you point a finger, look at your own track record in Balochistan. And first and foremost, don't use, for heaven's sake, a fake photograph.
Can't hear you.
That has been taken 3 years ago.
Can't hear you.
Okay, we will try and reconnect the audio. I'm told there is a technical problem there. But let me go across to our other panelists who are joining us. Tariq Fatah, this is perhaps the first time that Pakistan has crossed all limits. You know, desperation is evident because clearly at an international forum such as the UN, they're using forged photographs, fake photographs of people who are not even from Kashmir. These are those victims in Gaza who are being used, who are being misrepresented, beg your pardon, as Kashmiris.
Well, this is not the first time. I mean, Pakistan, since its existence, has lied at every level, whether it was the Pakistan army invading Kashmir. And I'll give you an instance where I was a young journalist when the Pakistan army was driving out Bangladeshis from East Pakistan, and they were being driven towards West Bengal. And I was on television at that time. We were asked to show these pictures as refugees returning into a peaceful East Pakistan. And we knew that it was lies. Everyone knew that was lies. But when a society is based on a lie, when a country is based on a complete fraud, complete illegitimacy, then everyone in the structure is okay with that. The problem is not what the ambassador did. The problem is that within Pakistan today, no one knows who's the governing authority. You had a military coup. The prime minister was thrown out. Now you've got another prime minister whose own supporters are being picked up from the street and have disappeared. So it's not the fault of anyone except that the very nature of Pakistan will always create lies. It cannot exist on the truth. And as you have seen, as moment you speak the truth, the Pakistani will say, yes,
Taimur Shamil, I will come to you. Let him finish speaking. All right, Tariq Fatah has finished speaking there. Yes, Taimur Shamil, you wanted to counter very clearly what Tariq Fatah is saying is that it is a society built on lies, and very clearly you're using more lies to defend your position, which is already untenable.
I think there's something wrong with the anchor's phone. We can't hear you properly. We can't hear the anchor.
All right, we will try and rectify the audio problem. I'm told that the audio is through. Mr. Shamil, if you can hear me once again, I'll repeat the question to you. What Tariq Fatah was very clearly trying to say is that your society in Pakistan is built on a number of lies, and therefore you're just using one more lie to defend your own position, which is untenable. Mr. Shamil, can you hear me? Mr. Taimur Shamil, can you hear me, sir?
Is he asking us?
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
We can't hear you properly.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Mr. Shamil, can you hear me? Yes, I'm talking very much to you. Here's what our panelists are saying. Our panelists are saying that given the fact that your society is built on number of lies, it is yet another lie being used at the UN forum, no less, to defend your already untenable position.
I think we should move on. You can't expect anything from...
Yes, I'm afraid, yes. There's some technical issues over there. I suppose our panelists there in Pakistan can't hear us. General G.D. Bakshi and Maruf Raza are waiting. General G.D. Bakshi, I'll come to you, sir. The fact is this, that ultimately Pakistan has embarrassed itself at an international fora such as the UN, isn't it? By using outdated and fake photographs to misrepresent whatever is going on in Kashmir.
Me, I can. Yes, I can.
Look, there is a certain amount of sanctity attached to the proceedings of the United Nations. This ambassador of Pakistan, she flaunts of photographs, calls it the face of India, and it is a photograph of taken by Haiti of a Palestinian girl called Razia. I mean, this amounts to misleading, deliberate obfuscation of facts and misrepresentation of facts in such a august forum. I think the least that the Pakistani ambassador needs to do is to tender an unqualified apology. She has spin doctoring we have heard of, but we don't expect ambassadors speaking at the United Nations General Assembly to spin doctor, to spew pack of lies, to hold photographs that are not genuine and shake them up as proof in the United Nations General Assembly, in the Assembly of Nations. There is some sanctity attached to the proceedings there. You can't just pick up any photograph that you seem to have taken a fancy for.
Absolutely.
And then state, oh, this is the face of India. The face of Indian democracy, if you please. I think the least that we can expect from this, this bumbling ambassador is an unqualified apology.
I think she should
Absolutely.
resign.
There should be an unqualified apology coming in. In fact, yes, Tariq Fatah.
I think she should resign. The United Nations should bar her for using the sanctity of the United Nations to emit lies. I mean, I've been following the UN since the Cold War. I've never heard, even during the Soviet United States rivalry, such blatant lies being told. Not even in the League of Nations.
Right, Taimur Shamil, if you can hear me. The question is very simple. Why shouldn't Maliha Lodi continue? Shouldn't she step down for, repeating such blatant lies before such a respected and august forum?
Well, no. If we
Mr. Taimur, can you hear me?
We're just sitting like that.
Mr. Taimur, the question is to you. All right, let me try and connect to Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi. Ambassador, are you able to hear me, sir? Ambassador Naqvi, are you able to hear me? All right, we will try and reconnect with them. Maruf, the question is this, that at an international forum such as this, the fact that Pakistan has come out with such a blatant lie, I mean, we have, of course, seen Tariq Fatah come out and say that she should be asked to step down. Do you think India should also take up this matter diplomatically?
You see, now that you have made many attempts to get the Pakistanis to respond and you have not been able to get them to do for technical reasons, let me sort of take it up further from where General Bakshi and Mr. Tariq Fateh have commented on. The first thing is that I don't think Ambassador Maliha Lodi is going to go anywhere. She's pretty much the darling of the Pakistani military establishment. She has been their apologist for decades at various forums, having been High Commissioner to London, having been Ambassador to the US, now here. And when she's not doing that, she writes books in favor of the military. So quite clearly, forget about Maliha Lodi stepping down. I think there is a bigger issue involved. As far as Pakistan's involved, Pakistan is a victim of its own delusion. And Ms. Lodi raised 3 or 4 points which need to be countered. The first is she keeps harping on the fact that if the world doesn't step in, then the matter could escalate. This is the typical nuclear saber rattling that Pakistan has been doing for years. And it's following the North Korean example. I've often said they are the other North Korea that China has built up.
All right.
The second thing is that Pakistan.
All right, Maruf, if I can just request you to hold on to your thoughts for just a minute. Sorry for interrupting you. I'm told our guests from Pakistan are joining us live at this point in time. So let me take those questions to them. Maruf. Yes, I will come right back to you. Let me just take a quick response from them and then I'll come right back to you.
If you're so desperate to ask the Pakistanis to respond, no, you have to let me complete.
Let me just get a quick response from them.
I mean, is this a forum for Pakistanis to abuse India? I mean, what is wrong?
Okay, go ahead.
Why
Finish your
are you
point.
so desperate to get
Finish
the
your point.
Pakistani point of view? We know they are lying.
Absolutely.
I am
no one is in doubt of that. No one is in doubt of that.
Is obsessed only with the
Kashmir.
You are saying the opposite. We are not saying things which are wrong. You are lying, and you are trying to put it down to our throat.
What is photograph was the truth? Was that photograph truthful?
That photograph.
Yeah, you guys don't let somebody complete. You are just desperate to get Pakistanis to come in, Pakistanis to come in. I mean, why is it all the time that Pakistanis get the time of the day? I mean, there is an argument from an Indian side. This is an Indian channel.
You never hear us.
You have just because you don't even let us complete a point.
All right, Maruf, complete your point, and then we'll go right back to our guest from Pakistan.
Don't interfere. Otherwise, I'll also become aggressive.
Photo or no photo, would you deny the genocide in Kashmir? Would you
have nothing to defend yourself, and you come up with the same beaten out argument.
Children in Kashmir, and that's what you do. That's what you do. And now that your terrorism has been exposed at the international platform,
can I respond? Can I please respond?
By the development. Is that the point? Why are you so threatened by the Kashmiris and by the Pakistanis?
Yes, Maruf, please go ahead. Maruf, please go ahead. The forum is yours.
Sir, don't just keep bringing up Kashmir. If you bring up Kashmir, we'll bring up Baluchistan. You bring up Kashmir, we'll bring up Gilgit-Baltistan. You bring up Kashmir, we'll bring up what you did in Bangladesh. You guys are compulsive liars. It has now been proved at the international forum that you are congenital liars. You have lied about 47, you lied about 65, you lied about the Hamidur Rahman Commission report.
You are lying.
Your whole country is built up on lies. For heaven's sake, come up with a new argument. Come up with something better. Come up with substance. Don't get Malia Lodi to do saber rattling. We can live with you. You call us predators. Ask what the Afghans call you. They also call you predators.
Of Gujarat, your prime minister.
You have no standing in the World Forum. You're a bunch of hopeless terrorists, and that is what Ms. Sushma Swaraj did. She called you Terroristan, and I think she did the right thing.
Stop lying to the world. The whole world now.
How many people have died in your part of the world? You killed 3 million. You killed 3 million Bangladeshis. Ask the Bangladeshis. Your own Hamidur Rahman Commission report says that. I don't say it. What about the human rights abuses there?
The reports.
You are the last guys to be able to lecture us.
You are lying. You are lying because the Bangladeshis were not 3 million. The Bangladeshis were not even 30,000.
Sir, your report says that you have killed hundreds of thousands. You have killed hundreds of thousands and displaced millions. You go to Bangladesh and talk to them. They will spit on your face.
And you are a runaway from Bangladesh.
All right.
You have no face to talk of human rights, Ambassador. आप किसी और चीज की बात करें तो बेहतर है.
What about you? Look at your own face. What is this? I mean,
talk of something else. Talk of something else.
Is this a way to conduct a debate? Is this a way to conduct a debate?
For liars,
Mr. Ambassador.
All right.
Mr. Ambassador.
All right, Mr. Ambassador. Mr. Ambassador, I think we've had a lot of. I think let's get this debate a little more organized. Let's get this debate a little more organized and bring it on track, because we've missed out the first 5-10 minutes of this debate. I understand due to technical reasons, but let me begin by asking you, Ambassador Naqvi, why should Maliha Lodi not step down for lying on a public platform, an august gathering such as the United Nations General Assembly? She's lied. She's shown a fake photograph.
She's not lied. Number 2. Malia Lodi is a very
Of course she has. The facts are flying out in your face. It is a photo taken in 2014 in Gaza.
This is not
that girl is from Gaza. She is not a Kashmiri. That is a fake photograph.
No.
This photograph of Maliha Lodi, what has been treated by the official, it is not. It has been proven to be a photograph from Gaza.
You are totally wrong.
How can you blatantly lie like this, sir? How can you blatantly lie like this? You're still defending Maliha Lodi. Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Talk about Kashmir. Talk about the
absolutely shocking. The world is looking at you, gentlemen, lying on public television.
Kashmir and sit in Toronto.
Forget what Tariq Fatah is saying or not saying. How can you deny this? How can you deny this photograph?
They can't see the genocide in Kashmir.
Please do not obfuscate. First get to the photograph. This is the issue we are asking you. We are asking you about this photograph that has been tweeted by an official handle.
Can we come in?
This is an official photograph tweeted by a handle. Yes. All right, General Bakshi. Why should we forget about it? How can you just lie on a public platform and get away with it?
Is this a joke? Situation in
you are leveling allegations. If you are leveling serious charges, you should be able to prove them with facts. And this is a blatant lie. General Bakshi. General Bakshi. How can they get away with this lie? They have no response to this.
Look, I am slightly amazed at the insistence of the Pakistani interlocutors that, you know, they have done nothing wrong. The fact is, here is a photograph taken by an Israeli journalist, Hedi Levine, and she's taken it of a Palestinian girl. It was taken in 2014 for Maliha Lodhi to flaunt it in 2017 as the face of Indian democracy in Kashmir, and try and, you know, tell us that, you know, somebody should have done her homework at her level, if not her staff.
Absolutely shocking, completely shocking. In fact, Taimur Shamil, you want a response. You want a response from Indian authorities.
Think about your own army.
The fact of the matter is, let me just put it across. Sorry, the fact of the matter is that Pakistan is a country that lies through its teeth.
You don't even care for
Taimur Shamil, I will come back to you. Let General Bakshi make his point. I will come back to you, Taimur Shamil.
Don't forget the fact that you harbored Osama bin Laden for 6 years in Abbottabad, 800 meters from the Pakistan Military Academy, Kakul. You lied. You lied blatantly then as you are lying now.
The guy you have made your Prime Minister.
Oh, for God's sake, talk about your Baluchis. Talk about your Shias.
Muslims.
Talk about your Muhajirs and Sindhis.
Taimur Shamil.
About the terrorists that you have made.
Taimur Shamil. Taimur Shamil, will Pakistan apologize?
The world is sick and tired. Yes. Your own Chinese friends have told you that it is a bilateral matter.
Been made the Prime Minister of India.
In 2014. What about Bangladesh? What do you mean Gujarat? What about Bangladesh? 3 billion Bangladeshis killed, 1 million Bangladeshi women raped, 10 million refugees thrown out into India. You have some cheek talking of human rights.
You will come down to 30,000.
You are in no position to talk about human rights. You have been
1 million women raped.
Mr. Taimur Shamil, rather than raising other irrelevant questions, Mr. Taimur Shamil, Mr. Taimur Shamil, you've been going on this monologue for quite a while now. Mr. Shamil, I would request you to keep. I would request you to either maintain silence or we'll have to reduce your fader because you're not making any sense right now with this monologue. Let me ask you some questions. Let me bring in some order into this debate. Everyone cannot go on a free-for-all like this for the next half an hour. That's not the way debate works. You can respond to questions, you can respond to other panelists, but only if people speak one at a time. No one can make sense of what you're saying, first and foremost. Question that I'd like to bring you back to is, will Maliha Lodhi apologize? Will Pakistan apologize internationally?
There is no reason to apologize.
We would never apologize. And also
for lying.
You have been killing people in Kashmir. You should rather apologize for killing innocent people in Kashmir. Would you apologize for the genocide in Kashmir?
Tariq Fatah.
Call your
Tariq Fatah. It would be comic if it wasn't so tragic, wouldn't it?
No. Here's the point. There are two gentlemen. One of them is named Taimur. What do you expect from them? And a person named Taimur, what is he going to say about anything?
You should also
named after a massive
killer. You know about the history of Tariq?
You can imagine the Pakistani state of mind where parents named the children Taimur. Their missiles are named Abdali.
You yourself are Tariq.
For whom truth does not matter. They're born in a country where Gujarati is banned, and they are calling about what happened in Gujarat. You have never been to Kashmir. Have you ever been to Kashmir? Have you ever been to Kashmir or speak Kashmiri? No. One of you is a Bihari, the other is a Punjabi, and you're telling us about Pakistan? What right do you have to talk about the people of Pakistan? You're invaders.
You don't live in Pakistan, you don't live in India. You don't know the ground realities. You read newspaper and you talk on Indian TV channels. That's it.
People there. Besharam log hai aap. Jhoot
people of South Asia.
From before of your existence, from 1947, August 14, you have lied yourself through all
and talk about people of Kashmir and Pakistan. You are not
okay.
about Pakistan.
आप झूठे हैं, आप झूठे हैं, आपको सच की तमीज नहीं है। आप बैठ के अपना नाम तैमूर रखिए, because you are Taimur.
All right, gentlemen, just request you to hold on to your thoughts there. Let me bring in Maruf into this discussion. Maruf, at the end of the day, it is Pakistan that stands completely isolated internationally, isn't it? I mean, it's not just about China, it's also about the action that United States has repeatedly been taken, whether it's against the Hizbul, whether it's against LET, JEM, and of course also, the fact that they've all been declared as terrorist organizations. The funding, in fact, is something that Pakistan is very worried about. It is this desperation that is evident within Pakistan, isn't it, that is forcing them to lie so blatantly on international fora.
You see, it's a very good question. The point is that for Pakistan, all along, everything has rested on anti-Indianism, of which Kashmir is the rallying point. And now the Kashmir issue is gradually being taken away from them. I'll give you 3 examples. The US, having declared Sayyid Salahuddin as a terrorist in Pakistan, has blown a hole through Pakistan's indigenous Kashmir uprising argument. The second thing is that the US has said to them, and the international community is putting pressure, even China has now said to them, that if you have a problem with India on Kashmir, then you solve it bilaterally. Now, I don't think Pakistani diplomats and the Foreign Office expected China to turn its back on them. And the third most important thing is that Pakistan, in the recent last 2 weeks or so, has called all its envoys back home to discuss a new strategy on how to get the world to look at their position on Kashmir seriously. Now, the point is, and this is the point I've made in the last 2 days, that I think Pakistan needs to recalibrate and restructure its argument if it wants to go anywhere with India on bilateralism. By Ms. Lodi saying that the whole matter is going to escalate and threatening a conflict of sorts, I don't think the international community...
One at a time. I'll allow you to rebut this, but please don't interrupt. Taimur Shamil, please don't interrupt. I will come back to you. Let Maruf make his point. Okay. Yes, Maruf, please go ahead.
This whole argument about China-Pakistan economic corridor and strategic partnership, it's this whole argument about China-Pakistan economic corridor and strategic partnership. Yes, there is a very strong strategic partnership. I would be a fool to deny that, because the signage of all that is very deep. There is a nuclear partnership, there is a missile technology partnership, there is a military weapon systems partnership, now there is the China-Pakistan economic corridor. But Pakistan has to ask itself that question, that is it willing to sleep in bed with China, which has a track record of trampling over its friends and its allies all over in Asia? And China will eventually do that. The Dawn report said that about what the China-Pakistan economic corridor is going to do. So while Pakistan may feel that China will provide them a counter against India, I think Pakistan is living in voodoo land. It's not going to happen.
All right, Taimur Shamil, let me read out a few facts to you. I will allow you to respond. Let me just read out these facts to you. Now, this is on the 19th of July that US has lambasted Pakistan. Yes, it's the same point. I'm just reading out some facts in relation to what Maruf has just said, and you can then respond to this. It's on the 19th of July of this year that the US lambasted Pakistan in its country report for failing to act against groups that are targeting American interests in Afghanistan. The same report also states how LET and JEM continue to hold rallies organize and recruit supporters, even though they are banned organizations, and the head of the latter is a known terrorist who enjoys protection and patronage of Pakistan. It has also banned Saeed Salahuddin. It has banned, in fact, in August, Hizbul Mujahideen as well. The list just goes on. I can just go on and on and on. But the fact is this, that what we saw as far as the shift in terms of China is concerned, this is something that Pakistan completely did not expect. And it is this desperation that is showing at international fora such as the UNGA. Because you're clearly blatantly lying under pressure that is coming in from all sides, the US, from China, from every end.
I got your point. You talked about US and you talked about China. US is, they have a failed strategy in Afghanistan. Our Prime Minister said that at UNGA, US has been embarrassed in Afghanistan and looking for face saving, and we won't help them. They have to look out for their own way. Talking about China, we will certainly, China and Pakistan are going to help the region build peace, and people in countries like India should learn from rather Pakistan and China how to go for peace and stability. Trump has also asked India to spend more money in Afghanistan. Would you do that? Trump has taunted you and has asked you that you have been making so much money because of your partnership with US, and spend that money now on nation building in Afghanistan. Would you do that? You can't even provide your own people. 50% of your population is without toilets. 50% of the people are without toilets, and you would go for
please not getting money. What does that have to do with us? What is this?
India is what a joke India
you cannot please don't bring in false facts once again.
On defense and
Taimur Shamil
on building toilets.
May I please come in?
Okay, Maruf then, and General G.D. Bakshi after that. Maruf.
From the US.
Is working for peace and stability.
Sir,
can we please come in?
Mr. Kamil Saab.
Yes.
Mr. Kamil Saab, you got more than $33 billion from the US to be their famous non-NATO military ally. I would call a military lackey.
To save them in Afghanistan.
From the US.
They are beaten every day in Afghanistan.
We have a trade advantage. We have a trade advantage. And Trump has said you put the benefits of that money. You put the benefits of that money into Afghanistan. You took money for your services. We trade with the US. We have a trade advantage. Trump has said put that money. We've already put $2 billion there. We built the parliament. We built a dam. We built a school. We built highways. We built hospitals. We built everything. What have you done? You have destroyed everything.
You see, they are taking money from China, Saudi Arabia, and America.
Right.
You have to understand this. This is the only country
US
that
wants you to now spend money, take over Afghanistan. Show us how you take over Afghanistan.
You are at the
Okay, Tariq Fatah is making a point over there. I'll go across to Tariq Fatah and then come right back to you, General Bakshi. Yes. Okay, Taimur Shamil, please hold on to your thoughts there. Both General G.D. Bakshi and Tariq Fatah wanting to make points. Tariq Fatah and then coming to General G.D. Bakshi. Yes, go ahead, Tariq Fatah.
The only country on earth that is swindling money from three competing powers at the same time. You have to give them credit. This concubine sleeps with Saudi Arabia, takes money, then China, and then the United States, and plays all three against each other at the same time. Such countries are not known for their statesmanship. They are known exactly for who they are, which is for people to come and use them and throw them away. From 1947, they have been tying themselves between the United States, making themselves, literally in Urdu we say, like a dalal country. Its own.
USA is peanut as compared to that.
USA has been training your diplomats from the 50s and making them their own agents, sending them back.
We have been sending them in Afghanistan.
All this is lies. Who paid the diplomats? How do you know who they were paying? This is ridiculous. You hurl accusations without any basis, and this is not the spirit of debate.
Ambassador, didn't you go to the stupid? Didn't you get trained over there in the 60s? What are you telling me?
Yes, no, I did not. I went to the US many times, but that doesn't mean I got trained in the US. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
How did you go there for the first time? Tell us.
Whatever I did, you don't go for personal matters. Why are you talking about these stupid personal issues?
I think Tariq Fatah.
Everybody has been to the United States.
I think Tariq Fatah, you've touched a very raw nerve over there.
United States. What?
You've touched a raw nerve over there. Yes.
Pakistan's ambassadors. Each one of them has their children as nationals of another country.
Haven't you run away to Canada?
I have. I declare myself as having run away. I hate the country that was made by the Nawabs of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and banned the Sindhi language. I hate the people who went to Pakistan and India and murdered Bengali.
Position to talk about.
You got blood on your hands.
You are always
don't lecture me about that.
Raising personal issues instead of talking about
personal
questions.
I am telling you, as a diplomat,
you always attack people. You have a habit of attacking. And this is absolutely
what do you mean?
Unacceptable.
You bring a false photograph.
Object to this.
You defend a woman like Malia Lodi.
Okay.
You know who's Malia Lodi and who's.
Okay. General G.D. Bakshi wanted to make a point. General Bakshi. Yes, General. Sorry to keep you waiting for such a long time. Yes, go ahead. General Bakshi. Yes. Gentlemen, request you to stay silent. Let General Bakshi come in, please. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, General Bakshi, please come in. Please come in.
Thank you. Tariq, can I just take a minute, please? You know, I would like to take up the ambassador on the issues that he has raised. Firstly, let me take it beyond personal issues, Mr. Ambassador. Let me tell you that Pakistan has just two-timed China. China has given you $51 billion or is about to disburse this sum to you, most of it as loans. What have you done to China? Let me tell you. The Chinese have a road which goes from Kunming to Sittwe in Myanmar through the province of Rakhine. Please let me of the Lashkar-e-Toiba and the Rohingya refugees has launched 30 attacks on 30 Myanmarese police stations, as also one Myanmarese military base which were protecting this road. The Chinese have asked them to hit back hard on the Rohingya refugees. This is what you have done to China for all the support that they have given to you. You are repeating the absolute two-timing behavior that you did with the United States, now with China. The Chinese have seen through you and they have told you that Kashmir is a bilateral dispute. Don't waste the other's time. Solve it bilaterally, number one. And in the BRICS meeting, they told you to take action against Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba.
India should learn, and you should stop being India should stop being a crybaby now. Stop whining about what is happening in the region. Pakistan and China.
We also, the crybaby today was the only baby who was crying and crying lies repeatedly was Pakistan. I'm sorry.
Like a baby.
I'm extremely sorry, Mr. Shamil. I'm extremely sorry. Anyone who saw what happened today at the UNGA knows very well who's been crying and who's been crying lies. Perhaps, you know, it almost seems, prophetic what Sushma Swaraj said yesterday when she referred to the fact that Pakistan has been obfuscating and has been lying repeatedly. And the fact that you're continue to be in denial just repeats that, you know. The fact that you continue to be in denial, Maruf. In fact, I'd like you to sum up this debate, you know, with these closing remarks. The fact that Sushma referred yesterday. Mr. Shamil, please. Yes. We've heard you now. Please let others also come in. Maruf, the fact that Sushma Swaraj just yesterday referred to the fact that Pakistan ultimately has always tried to obfuscate, has always tried to lie and take away. And if I can read out, you know, from what she said, the reality is that Pakistan's politicians remember everything, manipulate memory into a convenience. They are masters at forgetting facts that destroy their version. It almost seems like she knew what was going to happen today.
Well, you know, let me sort of take it a little further. Ms. Swaraj has, of course, given all the facts at the World Forum. But let me remind the Pakistanis, the one article that became the article of faith for them in a foreign journal about India's involvement in Balochistan was also written by the same person who's written a very detailed book on the Pakistan army. And she has said in that article that Pakistanis lie so much that it's difficult to believe them even when they tell you the truth. So the
Ambassador Naqvi, yes, please wait, Ambassador Naqvi, let him speak.
Out there who's like a lunatic howling away and is not letting people speak.
Much less than
I don't know why you invite such people onto your shows, because you can't have a dialogue with them. The point is, if we are going to have a debate or a discussion, they've given their points, they must counter our points. The point
I agree.
I want to ask Ambassador Naqvi, who I know is put up by the ISI, and this is well known to all of us, that he is fronting the ISI.
And I know that you are put up by the RAW.
Think tank that he
and
seems
you
to be
are
heading.
put up by
So
the RAW,
Ambassador
Mr. Maroof.
Sir, Ambassador Saab, come up with some facts. Don't croak out there without facts.
You are
come up
again hurling accusations. You are hurling
मेरे को कोई
accusations.
facts दीजिए. अभी आप बोल रहे हैं. You are telling me you have not. You have. Ambassador, I'll ask you a question. Ambassador, I'll ask you a question. Do you have patience for a question? Do you have patience for a question? Do you have patience for a question? The question is, I said Pakistan caused 3 million casualties in Bangladesh. The Hamidur Rahman Commission reports that. Now, even Dr. Faruqi in two different articles has subsequently commented that. You check that on the internet, that there were 3 million casualties. So everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. Ambassador Saab, yahi to problem hai. Ambassador Saab.
Absolutely, yes.
Yahi to problem hai.
Maroof requested to wrap up. We are running out of time. Maroof. We're running out of time on this bulletin. Maroof requested to wrap up. Yes.
Never expect
the problem is you can't tell them any facts because everything is wrong.
Is a baseless figure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. On that note, I'm afraid, gentlemen, we're completely out of time. I'd like to thank all of you, Tariq Fatah, Maroof Raza, General Bakshi, Ambassador Naqvi, as well as Taimur Shamil for joining us on this broadcast.